Hey, what's up, guys? My name is TSM Hamlin. I'm a
Good day, good morning, good evening, and good night. Welcome to Positive Rate. It's Thursday night, our normal time slot, and we are back in the Airliners, folks. And I've got three folk with me here, three members of the Positive Rate team. Say hello, Shark Kitty.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
All right, how are you?
Doing fine.
Good. That's where it should be. And you're taking advantage of a fast mover today, aren't you? You're not going to bother with the airlines. You're mean old F-35, but we got other people who are going to join us in the airlines today, and we'll start with Nick Burrows. How are you doing today, Nick?
I'm good. How are you? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Belated. Yeah, finally got there in the end.
Yep.
And my family, now that Christmas is over, New Year's is over, my kids are fully recovered from illness. Isn't that great? My wife buys the food for the 5,000 every Christmas, and there was nobody to eat it. It's absolutely unbelievable. But what are you going to do? So we're going to be eating buffet food for, until, I want to say, July.
Nice.
We'll get there. The freezer's full of mini steak bakes and mini chocolate puddings and mini this and mini that. Kevin, you know all about this kind of thing. How are you doing, mate?
Not too bad, how are you?
All right. What did you have? What was your main meal for Christmas Day, Kev?
We had lamb, roasties, carrots, and all the lot. The usual. Or no, sorry, we had turkey, sorry.
You had turkey? All right.
We had lamb for New Year's, we had turkey for Christmas.
Oh, very nice. Lamb's good.
Yeah, it did.
Very good. And we got Jhog sitting on the tarmac as well, so big shout out to him. How you doing, mate? We're having a bit of CloudBot fun at the start. I was getting a little bit stressed, couldn't get it going, but it finally kicked in at the end, right at the 11th minute, so I don't know. Hopefully it'll be okay. But yeah, so we got 5 airplanes on tarmac, 4 airliners. There's Nick in, now, misguidingly it says in Air India, but Nick, you are actually in something else, aren't you?
I mean, Dark Fury's positive rate livery.
Exactly. Well, that's really disappointing there because I don't have the Phoenix, obviously, so that's the reason it's Phoenix 320. However, it's better to see you at least as another 320, as opposed to a 7th or 8 bus 330 or 787, which tends to typically happen. Yeah. So I've got that model matching. This is it FSTL or the thing you get from fly-by-wire. It works great, really easy to install. I didn't get the traffic injector. There's Shark Kitty, of course, in the F-35. There's me in the special red livery. That I'm in the fly-by-wire 320 today. And there's Kev. Now, Kev, another confusing one. Technically, he's supposed to be in a 737-600. But it looks like a 320. But again, at least you're the correct size, roughly the correct shape, Kev. So we'll take it.
That's the main thing.
That's it. We got a long flight to go, so hopefully everyone's got their flight plans loaded and ready to go. It's just you start your engines, gentlemen. We're going to take off runway 29, and we're heading from, if you can believe it, this is called East London, but not East London as we know it in the UK. This is East London, South Africa. It's quite a significantly, reasonably large airport, I would say.
It's big enough, like, yeah.
Couple big runways there, and something strikes me that it might be doubling as an Air Force base as well. Couldn't say for certain.
There was something in the charts, but it could very well be.
Yeah. As sometimes you often do see. Jhog says he's doing very well. Perfect. Okay, so anyways, I've got the flight plan loaded, so just a quick... Oh, you know what I haven't done though? Let's load my passengers, so I'm going to have to do that. I'm not going to do that real time.
Big river.
Begin boarding, and we'll just do it instant. That's okay. We're up and running there. 157 packs, right? Right, quick through the flight plan. So we're going to be taking off from runway 29 at East London, and I'll just see if I can find out a nice little sweet spot there. Take off from there, and it's pretty much straight over. Now we're actually heading, based on the orientation, this is obviously looking different, but I think we're actually heading. Are we heading east or west? I think we are heading west. Okay, yes, we're heading all the way west. And we're going to clip some mountains just as we're coming down to our final approach into runway 19 in Capetown. So I'm just going to do a quick kind of thing up and then hook it around, come back in. Nice ILS landing. Should be nice and easy. Doesn't it sound exciting? I know that I'm personally excited about it. Big shout out to our sponsors, Orbix, of course. Our first full year with them. We're looking forward to it this year, and got a nice Christmas wish, guys, from Maribel as well, which is great. Wishing us all a Merry Christmas, so and a Happy New Year. So it's great to hear from them. Anyway, shall we get things going? So I'm going to get the APU started. All the things up and running here. Turn those seatbelts on. Oh, sim noises, that's what I'm missing. It should be making a bit more noise than this. There we go. And with that all done, we shall go to push back. Our tug loaded here. Don't think one's going to show up, but that's fine. We'll just use it for function over form today. Right, last minute checks. Everything is loading here. We're going on a performance. Make sure that we've got... Yeah, I'm just doing this funny thing again now. I'm sorry, Annette. Get that plugged in. Taking one degree of flaps. Running slightly heavy. I think we're pushing about I remember, I think it was about 8 ton of fuel. Wish I can look it up in here. 9 ton of fuel. How much are you taking, Nick? Just out of curiosity.
9.6.
9.6, okay. So you probably get a little bit more contingency than I do, but I think generally we're in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
I've got 7.8 plus a smaller plane, so that would make sense.
Yes, you are. Yeah, that's makes complete and utter sense. Yes, I totally agree with you. Okay, I've got no overhead lighting here, so let's turn it up a bit. Okay, and turn on our beacon. We should have...
Flight attendants, arm doors, and cross check.
There we go. Our APU bleeds here. We are ready to push back. Kev, do you want to start since you are first in line?
Yep, I'm just waiting for GSX to do its thing.
Okay.
Okay, gear has been locked, so I won't be long.
Nick's not waiting. He's like, I'm going.
I'm going.
That's Nick's thing.
Once again, we'd like to welcome you on board. Your safety is our top priority, so we appreciate the keenness of your attention while we demonstrate the safety features of this aircraft. You can follow with safety information card to
And Beluga says, hello! Hi, Beluga. He says, I've been doing some flight plans in the Flight Factor 757. Oh, there's some flights. Today I did Manchester to Gran Canaria. So what's the Flight Factor 757? I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh, that's an X-Plane.
Is that an X-Plane? Alright.
Yeah.
Shall Kitty Sunny pipes up.
Well, and she did it as she was turning around my nose in the F-35 as well. It kind of caught me off guard. I was like, what's going on? Right, is there anyone behind me?
Sarkity, and I'm pushing.
Ulrich? Oh right, yeah, I'm being assaulted by an SV-20 that's not an SV-20.
Oh, Nick's the only one being a gentleman here, so I'm going to push back.
We're going 2-9, right?
2-9, yeah.
Oh, I've just blocked Jhog in. Sorry,
Hey,
Jhog.
Jesus, Nick.
Okay, starting engine 01.
Let me move forward a bit once I've started this engine.
Jhog says I have a discontinuity and I can't remove it no matter what I do, so it looks like flight abandoned for me. Nah, you can fly with discontinuity. What are you talking about? Just fly it up to the discontinuity and then do a flight direct.
It's vectors. It's vectors when you Jhog, you fly runway heading, and then
Yeah.
do a direct to. Let me just check. Do a direct to SBOG because I've got it as well. So runway heading, climb, and then when you're stable and everything's good, then just go direct SBOG, and that'll clear your flight discontinuity.
Jhog looks like he was in. We got James Lecher. Good morning. Fact used to be my hometown. All right, you'll be flying over Robben Island and runway 19, Table Mountains to your right. Very cool. Well, thanks for that. Thanks for that, James. That's a nice little tidbit there. So we're looking for the Robben Island and flying over Robben Island, runway 19 to the Table Mountain to your right. So go first to the mountain to your right. Yeah. Bluegus, I've been playing X-Plane because I get 20 FPS in the 737 in semi-busy airports. Microsoft not been good in the last month or so. Yeah, I think there's a few people complaining about that right now, actually.
Yeah, actually, performance got much better on X-Plane 12.
Kevin, why did you turn the other way?
I had 11 in mind.
All right,
Yeah,
just like that.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, wait,
So
whoa. Okay.
if you go first and it goes backtrack a little bit, then I can follow you.
Did we not say runway 29? I distinctly said runway 29.
We did, and I changed over to runway 29, but I had my push set up for 11 in the back of my mind.
Right. So,
Yeah.
that makes complete... Actually, no, you know what? It doesn't make sense to me, but it's fine. It's good.
Yeah,
It's all right.
cool.
We still love you.
Thank you.
Beluga says I'm not prepared at all, so I'm flying with heading. Yep, fair enough, Beluga. No worries. Starting engine 2. One, just quick line, everything looking okay there. Yes, it is. I'll tell you what, Kev, what I think you do have space to do is actually do a loop around us on the apron there.
That'd be nice.
Oh, there's Beluga.
I got way no room for that.
Could I? Yeah, I suppose actually I'm quite small. Yeah, okay. I'll let the Jhog get out of the way and then I'll loop around.
Rather than making 3 airplanes backtrack, that's one thing.
That is true.
Dream started, we already got a block taxiway.
Or actually, what you could do is, why don't you take the taxiway out, you backtrack to 11 as quick as you can, and we'll let you go out first.
Okay, I've reset everything in the FMC for 2.9, so I can pull up the apron, get out of your way.
Oh god.
Yeah.
It's coming to you.
Let's go his way and then I'll go on the
Alright,
apron.
I'll tell you what, Kev, you take the taxiway, backtrack 2.9, and we'll all come up and get in the queue for 2.9 while you're backtracking and getting lined up.
I'll be in the way then though.
What's your job here, Kevin? It's planning, isn't it? Flight planning.
I don't plan my hood back, I plan the flight.
There.
I'm sure if you turn like on the hotspot too, you got enough room.
All
Wait a minute.
right, someone's got to move here. Kev, what are you doing?
I'm waiting for my tow crew to get out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah. So give me 2 minutes while he waves me goodbye and then I'll turn around.
Got you. God bless GSX.
Yeah. Come on,
Chuck,
leave.
haven't you got a missile
So,
or something on that?
welcome to
Fire.
welcome to Air Traffic Jam Simulator, folks. Anyway, I'm glad you
Yep.
could join us tonight.
Alright, it's left. Good. Let's go.
Okay.
Beluga says, during Christmas I got the Boeing TCA yoke and throttle, that's why I used the 757.
All right.
Nice.
Okay. Very nice.
I actually got a new stick as well, I got the T16000 because I did some fidgeting around on my TCA Airbus stick, so I can't use it for planes anymore.
Cool.
Oh, there he goes.
And he did You didn't even actually backtrack. You just kind of got out of the way. Okay, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, that's what I was saying I was going to do.
Okay. Right, Shark, if you want to head out to 29. Flight control, check their hands.
There we go.
It is a very grey day, though, in good old East London, South Africa, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty grim.
Well, Luga says I like the T16000. I just bought one, actually. I already have one, but I bought one for the left hand. Won't mention why, but I'm sure some people might understand.
Should I take off?
Yeah. Okay, we can get up there. Switch to T8. That's on, that's on.
Take off.
Auto brakes at the max. Takeoff config. Well, that's not ticket config. Okay. Calm down. This is why we do these things. And I've downloaded the crew actually. We're gonna go, folks.
All this you're waiting for me.
Alright, it still says we have to check, but everything else is fine. Music to take off with. Oh, Jhog's, whoa, oversteer. Come on. Doing that clever thing where I'm trying to look around while it's, take up to 50%. Go. We'll get above the clouds where we can see a little bit of daylight.
I think we will. Not that high as I can see the tops.
V1, rotate. How's the rate? You're up.
The rain.
Thrust. Yeah, autopilot 1, please. And here comes the rain. Yeah, isn't it yucky? Oh, just awful. Awful.
Traffic.
I'll be shark kidding.
What's your speed?
Flops up. Accelerating to 220.
Okay.
Oh, 250. Sorry. 250. Should be good to go up to 3800. So our flight level today is 3800. 80 blue.
Traffic. Traffic.
And we've got TA only because if I had TARA on, airplane would start doing all sorts of interesting things.
Especially with me around.
There's someone in the Fenix Blue that says, yeah, Nick's in the Fenix Blue. James says, East London known to have a lot of wind.
Traffic.
Southeast
Yeah, we
can
have three
blow
departments there.
non-stop for days it gets for a while. Can someone already read that out? Gale force for days. It sounds like northern Scotland.
That's Northern Ireland.
Yeah, it does. Of course. It will be.
Traffic.
Yeah.
Traffic.
I can see some. Right, I'm gonna drag the nuts if that's gonna be barking all day. Huge. Getting a strange clicking noise. What is that?
The Boeing
AC?
trim.
Huh? Odd. No, I didn't put my pro on. Very strange. No, it's back again. Yeah, I can definitely hear a clicking noise.
What be your trim?
Yeah. Oh, you know what it is? It's the music.
Ah,
That was really confusing me. Oh well, there you go. I'll remember that next time. It was just unquiet enough. I just heard this like ticking noise. I thought, something wrong with the airplane. Yeah, we're breaking 10,000. Go back to lights. And bust through these clouds. Luca says, if I get Microsoft Flight Simulator sorted out, I might buy the Fenix. Really nice airplane. Yeah, I would love to get the Fenix, Luca. I just don't have the spare cash. James says techno. Yeah, that's it. But this weird kind of techno where I could only hear the cymbals. I want to get through these clouds.
here we go, that's bright.
Just be patient, eh?
Yeah. I just broke through and it's like just blindingly bright. Thank God for sunshine.
Quite a high ceiling. I mean, that's 14,000 now. I'm still not even through the top layer there.
Nice.
Interesting. Here we go. Yeah, so just coming back, so I bought a, I wanted to get a second stick, one to have as a backup, but also one I could use for a left hand, because I do dual joystick for Star Citizen. I'm starting to trying to play about with that a bit more. So I got a second T16000, which is really cool. I'm quite happy with that. The other reason I do it too is I often fly on weekends with my daughter who's really into flight simulation, but we tend to fly together, and what we'll do is I'll have the two sticks set up for the same control so I can kind of take over if she's having trouble or something like that. So that's good fun. It's almost like having the left and right side stick in the airplane. It's quite fun. Pretty good.
That work well?
Works pretty good as long as you both take turns trying to control the airplane.
Yeah.
Otherwise you get
It's
a...
not like an Airbus where you got a priority system.
Well, I mean, it did cause a crash, didn't it? It was Air France. I can't remember what flight it was.
The 330, is this?
It was a 330, yeah.
Yeah, over the Atlantic was or something.
It was, unfortunately. It didn't end well.
Yeah.
Beluga says, I'm going to have to do a visual on descent and approach. If you can keep around us, Beluga, we should be able to give you a rough idea. James says, I bought Phoenix, still in the fly-by-wire. The support help in Phoenix is painful. Fly-by-wire support far better as it's on Discord. Fair enough, James. I think part of the thing too is Phoenix is a private company where fly-by-wire is a community-driven project, so you're probably going to have a lot more people helping out because they're all volunteers, which is a strange upshot for having a community freeware project as opposed to a private one. But that's probably interesting to some. Nick, are you surprised of that feedback actually?
I haven't had too much problem, to be fair. I think that the Phoenix is so popular that they get bombarded with questions and problems and stuff like that. What I've heard, if you put a ticket in to Phoenix, it's normally pretty good.
Well, hopefully I didn't drown out what you were saying with the airplane noises. So there you go. So James, I think the thing to do is to raise a ticket. That might help you better. But the other thing you could do, James, if you have any questions, just join the Discord. I don't know if check it if you want to watch the Discord connection, but if you join our community, there's quite a few people in the community that fly the Phoenix, and I'm sure we can point you in the right direction as well. Try and help you out. Beluga says, you know the hand over yoke thing. How do they train people on that? What do you mean by hand over yoke? Not sure what you're referring to here. Maybe if you can give me a bit more detail about the question.
I think the helis, just like with the little Robinson heli or something, where the yoke goes up and down, where the seat goes up and down.
Like on a pivot.
Yeah.
Don't you just bat it? Say your aircraft, whack. It just kind of flies over.
If one of you AP users can give the Discord link.
Yeah, give it 2 minutes.
And there's the corporate pilot that says YouTube really needs to up the standards on who they let stream. How you don't do it. Yeah, we love you too, Tim. We love you too. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, then we end up with some channels that do some flight sim tutorials, yada yada yada.
Oh, don't sink to his level. Don't you sink to his level. Absolutely no need for that. Just gonna do a quick range check. Get stretched. I can see I've got a radial line set up for our rough descents. So we're going to be at 10,000 at Gettin. But there are mountains in the way, folks, so we have to be very careful, and that's why if you go to our constraints, we're keeping ourselves at 6,700 feet because there are mountains around them there places. But once we get past that, we should be able to drop to 3,000, which is our platform altitude for arrival in runway 19 in Cape Town. Excuse me. The corporate pilot dad says, my wife used that same finger to wave at me yesterday. Ah, right. She's in good company then. So we got to go through. What should we talk about? Christmas presents. Kevin, you start. What was your anything nice that you got from the family or Santa Claus or whatever you? I don't. Do you have an Do you have a leprechaun and a Santa hat that comes around your house? How's it working?
We do. He's green, the red.
He's green.
Just giving you gold, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's got a gold nugget for Christmas.
Corn cob pipes for everybody. Here you go.
I know.
Sorry, a serious question though. Did you get anything nice?
Yeah, give it to the flight time and a few books, that kind of stuff like that.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. What about yourself, Sharky?
I got a few nice things. Well, as I said, I got a new stick. That's nice.
And you bought yourself a new PC as well, didn't you?
I bought myself a new PC. That's not a gift. I saved money for that.
On the contrary, it was a gift to yourself. A very nice one.
Somehow, yeah.
I'm sure you gave yourself a nice cuddle after you got it too.
Yeah, I often cuddle myself.
And what stick did you get? Sorry, I missed that.
It's a T16000.
A T16000, right? Okay. Is that the orange
Yep.
one?
Yeah, the orange one.
Yeah,
I already had it TCA, just modified mine, so it would be better for copter, but completely unusable for planes. So I needed another one. I was fine with the quality of TCA, but I took the T16000 for a change.
Yep.
It's mechanically the same, so
I now have two T16000, so I have the original green one and I have the orange one.
oh, interesting. Oh, it's that old.
I bought it used, the original one, the green one. I bought it used for 35 pounds when I first got the PC, because I was thinking about getting back into flight simulation. I didn't know. I wanted a decent stick, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money because I didn't know, if I was going to stick with it and whatnot. And obviously, the rest is history. It's been a great experience. Flight simulator has been really fantastic, and I bought it used to it. It's absolutely brilliant. It's never let me down yet. Never let me down. Absolutely solid stick. So it only made sense to buy the updated brother of the 16,000, which is the orange one that you typically find very hard to find on its own. Actually, I found most of them are sold with the throttle, and I didn't need that.
Well, I already had one that I bought like a few years ago, but I swapped for the Bravo.
Yep.
So the thing with the throttle that comes with the T16000 is that on its own, it's kind of rough. It doesn't move very smoothly, but it's possible to modify it to make it very smooth, and then that's a very, very good throttle if you only need one axis.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Pretty good choice for people who do stuff like DCS or Elite Dangerous, but still want a hot
they're
stick.
What I call a good all-rounder. And of course, if anybody doubts the heritage, it was the T16000 which served as the basis for the Airbus side stick that you can buy, the actual Airbus branded side stick that you can get from Thrustmaster. It's pretty much the same joystick.
Yes, that's why I was comfortable going for the T16000, because I knew it would just be the same with a different grip, basically.
Yeah, that's what.
The only difference is that the TCA, it has a little button at the idle of your throttle, so you can have a reverser. But I don't even use the throttle anyway. That's something like, it's a feature, okay, but I got the throttle quadrant next to me, so I never use this one.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But it's useful if you just want to buy one stick, then that's it, because it allows you to have a reverser, and you don't have that on the T16000.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. I was tempted to get the Turtle Beach, the new Turtle Beach, but it is really expensive, and it's got a lot of controls on it that I don't need because I have a separate throttle. I have other pedals. I've got everything to manage what I need, so it just seemed like a waste of money. I just liked it because it looked shiny. But
I don't know. I think I got no idea of the actual quality of it, but it looks pretty cheap, to be honest.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen some good reviews. People seem to think it was reasonable, but time will tell. It's one of these things.
The problem is it's not really interesting in terms of price, in my opinion. I was especially looking at, they announced they're gonna do pedals, and if they did it cheaper than the competition, I would have been interested, but that's not the case.
The pedals I'm actually
especially because, well, I need new pedals because the right toe brake of my Sci-Tech pedals broke.
Oh, right, okay.
So
yes,
I
you
need
mentioned
new
that.
pedals.
Yeah. I've got the Thrustmaster, the basic ones, which are pretty good. So Jhog's saying a holiday in Spain from wife and Peter K tickets from daughter. Very nice. That is a hell of a Christmas present.
Honestly, the thing for me is I do a lot of very stick and rudder stuff.
Yeah.
With helicopters and bush planes and all. So I kind of wanted like a better set of rudder pedals, but I'm not really fine with the pricing if you want anything above the Thrustmaster ones.
In TPRs. Oh,
I was
love
gonna
them.
say Nick, that you definitely have fun development.
I'm gonna just
Say again?
enter some approach information while you guys are talking.
Save up for the TPRs, the Thrustmaster TPRs. They're beautiful.
Okay.
They're the best.
I don't know. So Thrustmaster
Is that
for like
the
some
is that the
mid-range
pedestal
stuff.
ones? Those are the pedestal
Yeah,
ones. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I've
those-
been eyeing them. They're just, I don't know, they're a bit much for what they look. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Did HD not get them? He really liked them.
Yep.
Really?
And Gavin.
Yeah, so that's a commercial pilot basically saying he loves them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they're
but
so
what I'm
heavy.
concerned with Thrustmaster is the reliability, because on their more expensive products, I've heard a bunch of people having some issues, say with the Warthog or whatnot. So for mid-range stuff like I'm using right now from them, I found it really, really good. But for the higher end stuff, I'm kind of skeptical about Thrustmaster.
The TPRs, I mean, they are so solid and they are so heavy. Because it's just basically metal. The whole thing is metal. There's no plastic. They are so smooth and beautiful. They're best thing I ever did.
Yeah, I've always heard good things about the Thrustmaster pedestal like this before.
Yeah. Like, I'm eyeing the MFG Crosswinds because they're half the price but seem just as good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I upgraded and I did the good thing because Dark Fury didn't have a set of rudder pedals, so I gave him my rudder pedals, my old ones.
Well, Tim, Corporate Pilot that says the TPR pedals look really nice. A request has been sent to Thrustmaster to do a review. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, can we do that too?
Did you guys see his? Did you see Tim's review on what was it? The Turtle? Was it Turtle Beach? No,
Honeycomb?
the Honeycomb. That's what it is. The Honeycomb Alpha and Bravo.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I was obviously he's a good friend of the stream, but it was a great review. I loved it. It was so detailed. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if you can do, Tim, you can do something similar with the TPR pedals. I'd be insanely interested to watch that. He says they told me it'll be forwarded to the appropriate person, and if reply isn't received in 3 weeks, to basically give up. I'll tell you what, if you need anyone to donate, and if you're discarded stuff that you don't really want, just let me know. I'm sure we can arrange some sort of destination or a new home for them. So we're 26 minutes into the flight. That's from the gate, actually. 17 minutes in the air, roughly. And we have 160, but just 210 miles to go until we start descent. I'd say you'll be already at your cruise altitude, Kev, won't you?
Yep.
Nick, what about you? Did you get anything nice for Christmas?
Got a few little bits and pieces, and then going to Dad's next week because I couldn't go because of the train strikes and stuff.
Oh,
Christmas,
tell me about it.
so
We have-
I've got next week off work, so I'm going to go over and visit. So we'll have another mini Christmas then.
Well, we had 3 trips to Edinburgh planned. I mean, I could have driven, but it's not a great time to go because of the tourism. So, train was pretty much the only option. One was actually going to meet family, and
Just please now to port of flight and begin to settle in. I do want to remind you
the captain talking about
those clear from the aisle as the flight attendants will be coming through the cabin and galley club shortly. Also, one more reminder to please refrain from congregating to the front galley with the flight deck door is located. Thank you.
Yeah, so one was to visit family. The other 2 were just well, one was a plan to take the kids up to the museum because they've got a really nice exhibit in the National Museum of Scotland. If you're ever in the Edinburgh area, the National Museum, it's completely free to get in. It's absolutely spectacular. It's a really, really nice museum. So, long story short, went to see family, couldn't do it, train strike. Was planning to go to the museum. The trains weren't striking, but Network Rail was, so all the signalmen were off. So the trains couldn't go anyway because there was no one to operate the signals. And then the backup date to take the kids to the museum, because we couldn't go the first time, was cancelled because of train strike. So it was just I mean, I get the point, and I know obviously they're trying to get it as much attention as possible, but I think all the train strikes and various have caused so many issues. I mean, it has to some extent ruined Christmas for everybody. And also, I think it must have taken a huge dent at hospitality and retail. There was no way to get into the major city centres, and that was UK wide. I don't know if you have a similar perspective on that, Nick.
I know. I just think, you know, the government have said we can't afford it.
Yeah.
And I don't think we can afford it at the moment. And
No.
it just seems to me a little bit convenient that they go striking over Christmas. So whereas they would be working, they're getting an extended Christmas. If you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think it's a bit selfish.
Well, they're asking for a heck of a lot more money than I did get a very, 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 very modest raise for inflation, and it wasn't inflation. Let me put it that way. It was an increase, but nothing that even approached inflation. And you know, these people are asking for inflation plus 7% or something like that. I mean, it's just you know, what about the rest of us that aren't getting exactly.
that aren't on strike?
I'm not unsympathetic. I do want people to be well paid, and the nurses in particular, I really, you know, my heart goes out to them. But there is reality that comes into it, and I think there is an element of let's just see how far we can push to get what we can get. But ultimately, the reference will suffer.
If they get it or get something, then someone else will go, oh well, they got it, so we'll go on strike as well.
Which is pretty much what happened, I think.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on it.
Anyway, Corporal Pilot Dead says, review was fun. I want to do more, but it's hard to get products for review, yeah. I completely appreciate that. And Jhog says, when I go to EGPH, that's Edinburgh for everybody who's not sure, I park at the airport, it's free, and I get the tram. It's easier for the centre. Museum is awesome, yeah. Tram's really good that way too, and in terms of getting from the airport, I definitely agree with that. It's a bit of a walk to the museum, but not far. When you drive, yeah. Corporate Pilot Dad says, what is the inflation rate here? I think it's been as high as 12%, Nick?
Yeah.
I think that was the peak. It's starting to drop now, but it's overall, I mean, if you account for, mainly for us, it's been food and anything you buy, raw materials, and fuel to some extent, but fuel's starting to come back down again. But food is just, it's easily doubled in price in the last year. Just everything you look at, double.
Did you know a litre of milk is more expensive at one point than a litre of petrol?
Yeah, which is obscene.
Yeah.
But then it makes me wonder if my car could run on milk.
Okay, water, but that's milk.
Yeah, exactly. Just put water in it. Come on, try to start it up. Beluga says I'm flying out of Glasgow in February. Oh right, where are you going, Beluga? Let us know. Corporate Pilot Dead says, well, we had 9.1 and it sits around 7 now. Yeah, you guys, honest to God, the inflation's been bad across the board for Western countries, but the United States has seemed to have done very well by comparison. I mean, no one likes inflation. I mean, any inflation is bad, but from what I've seen, the United States has done extremely well. I think it's been managed quite well over there. Whereas here, under the good, we won't get into politics, but I'll say I've been left somewhat lacking by the leadership over at the moment on numerous fronts. I'll say no more than that. I don't want to turn this stream into something completely different.
5 promises, that's all I'll say.
How many? Over how many years?
Yeah, that's what we could down.
Anyway, don't mention. Don't mention the war. It's fine. Don't mention the war. I mean, at least they got time to make Christmas speeches. That's really thoughtful. Just poke your head up above the surface for 10 minutes to get on telly, and then you just dive right down below again. I should run for government. I wouldn't have to do a damn thing. Anyway, where were we? Why are we here? What are we doing? Why are we here?
Traffic.
Oh, that's right. We're trying to avoid being hit by an F-35. Ah. Excellent. For a slightly less noisy okay. What's going on?
Are we doing runway 19?
Yes.
Anyways, yeah.
Although I haven't checked the weather yet.
I can get to be there. So 17 degrees, QNH 1022, wind 150.12, and I can get the runway condition for you
Yeah,
there
so runway 19 is still doable.
Yeah.
It's like crosswind.
But I'm not gonna change runway again because I have a pushback situation.
Yeah, speaking of which, I gotta put my winds in here. 150.12.
Yeah. Things have updated actually, 160 at 17. Well, that's no, is it?
I'll do a.
Yeah, go at 150 at 12. That seems to be the most up to date.
That's what my tablet says.
Yeah.
I'll do a weather request and then just.
Yeah, QNH 10.
Check that. No messages. Yeah, still 150.12 on there as well. That's cool.
A little bit of strike, so no need for anything fancy.
We're about halfway. Very good. There we go. Anyway, anything else interesting? I don't know if there's been much in the way of flight sim developments in the last week or so. Can anybody think of something interesting?
There was something DFD sent me a while back. It was around 767. And there's someone making a 7.5 and a 7.6 now as well.
Bluebird,
that's it.
The Bluebird. Oh.
Yeah.
Our good friends that have done the Cessna 310.
Oh, is that them? Yeah.
Thanks. Oh no, is that Blackbird? I get confused.
Blackbird. That's
Blackbird.
That's Blackbird. Yeah. So no, Bluebird's different. Yeah. So they're doing a 767 now.
That's play here in front of me. Link them now.
Interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
And Aerosoft and the E-Jets.
Yep.
There's
yeah.
There's a few streams later on tonight about that.
Take those.
Yeah, Airsoft's got a few things coming in. Has there been an update on when the Airbus 330 is coming?
Well, this. Oh yeah. Headwind are making an A330-800. But on their Airbus A330, I'm not too sure. I haven't heard any news.
Headwind, not really.
They're the one that made the 330-900 freeware.
Is that any good?
Yes and no. When it works really well. When it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
It's kind of a way you describe a seatbelt, isn't it? When it works really well. When it doesn't work, it really feels horribly silly.
FS2 crew bought out the 737 version.
I heard about that. I'm tempted.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. And I hear you have something to say with that, don't you, Nick?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Corporate pilot that says any word on the A2A at Comanche.
That'd be interesting, yeah.
Shark Kitty, have you heard anything?
The Comanche?
I presume that's a helicopter,
yeah, isn't that
right?
that twin that's been announced?
Yeah, no, it's twin GA.
Oh,
Really. Yeah.
the Comanche, sorry.
I got no news about it. It's
that
been
nice?
a while since I last heard of it, to be honest. But I don't know. I didn't check it out recently, so
Comanche, is that
Oh,
a
yeah.
Piper? Is that a Piper?
I think
Am I
so.
thinking about the right
Yeah.
one? Yeah. Well, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be
That would be
that's
very cool.
interesting, that, yeah. How far away from... Oh, still about 130 miles from top of the sun, so yeah. We got
Yeah, I'm
ways to go
127,
yet.
so.
Anything that is on that should be off or off that should be on. Well, probably the seatbelts. Or passengers. They've been stuck there the whole time. What a hateful captain I am.
That's my clue. What was it? Ryanair, I think it was. Oh no, it was the time before that. The people time was left on for the entire flight because it was so short. Carries Dublin.
Corporate pilot that says Comanche 250, 250 horsepower. Sounds good.
150? Okay. That's a small twin.
It's pretty small. It's very thin as the arrow is not. It's done a little bigger.
I don't know. I got no power in my
It's probably
in my
comparable to
stationary.
the 4 or 6 seat.
300 horsepower in that thing.
Well, it's 4 or 6 seat, low wing, all metal. Tricycle retractable landing gear. First flew in
Arrow.
1957.
Yeah, the arrow is 200.
The original one had 180 horsepower.
Nice.
So that's a single engine, it's not twin.
Oh, okay. I guess
I
I was thinking about something else then.
Yeah, I must admit, I didn't think Comanche was a twin. There's a twin, there's a Cherokee. Cherokee, I believe, is a twin. Although that's a single as well.
No,
That's
the
the-
Cherokee is a single
That's a good one.
trainer.
Yeah.
And
In
there's-
fact,
and
the
then there's
arrow is a
the one
Cherokee.
The one I really like to see is the Cheyenne, which is a high
There is a
high
twin
altitude.
Comanche. Okay.
Ah,
There's a
yes,
twin
I
Comanche.
see it now. Yeah. It's like a strange mix between a Mooney and a Piper.
You
The
think
Piper Woody.
I think Piper ran out of things to call the planes. Like, you know, they would go from
Yeah.
a single to a twin. Well, we'll just call it the same thing.
Oh, Piper is Mooney, okay.
Yes to the Cheyenne, says Tim, corporate pilot. Yeah, the Cheyenne's it's just high performance, high power. It's like a rocket. I think you can take it up to something like 27,000 feet. It's pressurized. But it's really, really fast.
Speaking of twins, I'd love a mosquito.
I suppose, I mean, the 414 kind of fits in that camp to some extent, doesn't it? Although I don't think it has I don't think it's a patch on the Cheyenne. Cheyenne's ridiculous.
I don't know. It's very big and fast going forward.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, you can easily cruise at 20,000 feet with it
Mm-hmm.
at 220 knots. That's
Yeah,
crazy fast for a prop plane.
Tearing it for a prop plane. Right. Still 122. Okay. So I'm just kind of looking for things to do while I'm waiting for the stop to set. I'll tell you what, I'm going to get something to drink. Guys, could you keep the audience company, and I'll be back in about 2 minutes.
Okay. Ah, connection lost.
Ah,
I couldn't control my plane while I was doing that. Okay, back and
jeez.
forth. Jeez, MSFS, get your shit together.
yeah, I've been having a lot of connection issues lately. Like I was flying with GFD, we went to, what was it, Trail, an old RNS, like our Royal Naval Air Station. And just on approach, we both got a server connection issue.
The Yeni 400 is a rocket ship. Well, because now I got a new PC, I could try X-Plane-12 up to what it should be, because on my previous PC was really running hard, had a lot of limitations on it because of it. But now I get the full experience of it, and it's amazing. I really love it, and I was even surprised at how good it looks, especially like the materials and aircraft. Really looks good. I posted some screenshots on the Positive Rate Screenshot channel on Discord. Damn, that DA62 looks nice.
By the way, him is planning a coup. If you have a look at Slate's comment.
Say again?
Him is planning a coup.
Yeah.
A coup?
A coup.
Coup, yeah. The
You
Irish
take the
accent.
stream and make it your own. Change the password. Be quick. He does this. I bet he's sitting there now. He's just watching. He's like peeping round the door and looking at us. What are they all up to?
Right, I'm back. What did I miss?
Welcome back. I don't know, there is a cuckoo.
Now that Willie... Hey! Wait a minute. Change the password before I do that. Yeah. Actually, there is one person on the team that is able to... I don't know if you can change the password, Nick, but you got a bit of leeway.
Yeah.
Actually, we still got to do some production training.
Yes.
You missed nothing, no coups here. Someone must have logged in under me and wrote that, yeah.
Yeah.
It happens to me all the time. Okay, top of the sun's looking a little bit closer. Still 60 miles out. So initial descent down to 10,000. Dodge the mountains. 6,700, I think we're going for Capetown.
Yeah. What have I got again?
Once we clear all the interesting terrain, we can drop it down to platform 3,000.
Yeah, like for Delta 120 Hotel, I've got 6759. So you might even want to try for 68.
6759, that's very specific.
It's an intermediate waypoint between two
Yes, Steve,
platforms.
you're welcome.
Oh, I see, right.
Yeah, we're in creators mode.
Oh, Tim, so do you have room for me on the voice chat? Yeah, jump on.
You're welcome. Coming in.
Jump on, Tim. clouds are starting to clear up a bit.
Make your X on the mountain way past wheel. I'm forced to hit it. Lol. I think Jhog wants a treasure map.
That's it. Or a reverse treasure map, rather. What not to find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll fire on us.
We'll put a waffle on it.
Waffle.
Hi, Tim.
Hello, I finally made it.
Hello.
Hi Tim, how are you?
Hello, good.
How was your Christmas?
It was pretty good. It went fast. It's like every Christmas you wait a whole month for it to come, and then it's over in 5 minutes, and the living room's a mess when everybody's done.
That's nice.
Of course, you still got your kids are still relatively young too, so there'll be all the interesting new stains on the carpet that weren't there before.
No, there's too many to tell them apart now. We just gave up.
That's why I always buy a brown carpet.
I know. Well, in our house, we have the original carpet from when we moved in, but that's something we want to get replaced, but it's just moving furniture. It's such a huge amount of work. I don't think anybody wants to deal with it.
We had a similar problem, but we decided that we're not going to bother doing anything until the kids are old enough that there's absolutely no chance that they're going to spill anything. So.
Right, and it will happen. Same with painting the house. I painted the house, all of it inside, and it was only within a year that there's like small little paint chips, or a kid knocks a hole in a wall, just stuff everywhere. A kid colored on a wall right after I painted. So yeah.
My best coloring story was my daughter Kara. She's 14 now, obviously. Aspiring young sim pilot at the moment. But when she was, I believe she was 3, and I'd saved up money, and I finally got one of the first generation LCD flat screen televisions. It was a Toshiba 37-inch. I was absolutely delighted with it. Got it home, and it wasn't, the screen wasn't plastic. It was actually like a thick, or it wasn't glass. It was like a thick kind of plastic. Can't quite describe it, but it still looked decent. So I'd had it about a week, and I'd gone to work, and I got home from work, and I want to say this was around Christmas time as well. And my wife came up to me and she says, "Now, I don't want you to be upset, but I've got to tell you something." Why would I be upset? What is it? And she says, "Your daughter has picked an interesting place to do one of her crayon pictures." She took me through the living room, and there was a lovely scene with all of the family by the beach. With at the time we had a cat in front of a tree and a swing, drawn on my brand new LCD television.
What was it drawn on there with?
Crayon.
Crayons? Okay.
So
did it come off?
Eventually.
At least
So-
it came off in the process.
Exactly. I've had experience.
But there was always
with
like a shadow. It's like it was mostly gone, but there was always like this kind of shadow, like certain scenes. You could just
Go
see
back.
this little outline of a kid with her parents and the cat sitting in front of a tree.
Oh, that sounds really nice.
But how happy did it make you to see that though, and think of the time when she did that, when she was little?
Yes. Having said that, we only had that television for about another 2 years after that. So we upgraded when she was 5. It actually, I think I sold it secondhand to a neighbor as well.
So one thing
he
I found
never came back and mentioned anything about it, so I can only assume that he never saw it. But it's one of these things, once you see it, you can't unsee it, so you know it's there. He probably just thought he was imagining things. I think the only thing that he did with it was play FIFA on PlayStation, so I don't think about it.
Well, one thing with crayons, to my kids have color on the walls with crayon. something that will get crayon off of walls easily is mayonnaise. And it's the weirdest thing, but it works. Just wipe it on there, just a thin coat, leave it for maybe a minute or two, and it just wipes right off.
So do you put it on with like you put it on with a cloth or a brush or something, and then wipe it off with a ham sandwich? How does that work?
Yeah. Just put it on the paper towel or something, let it sit for a minute or two, and then just wipe it off.
Yeah, but do you wipe it off with a ham sandwich is what I'm saying.
Oh, no. Depending on how hungry you are, you can. That is an option.
Oh, dear. Top of descent, not far away. You did, I think you said you were flying on Boxing Day, Tim, is that right?
What day was Boxing Day for you guys again?
Oh, sorry.
26th?
26th.
I did not fly on the 26th.
Oh, right.
First time in 18 years that I did not have to fly the day after Christmas.
Wow.
So, thrilled for that.
So you actually got 2 days in a row.
I did. Yep, and it was nice just being able to do normal things and not have to worry about getting up at 4 o'clock the next morning.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Okay, top of descent, going down to 10,000, Shark Kitty, if you're paying attention still.
Roger that.
Look at the train underneath us then. Spectacular.
Looks very inviting if you're a rock climber.
It's so strangely enough, I had to look this up, and I only came to know about it by watching someone else on Flight Simulator. But South Africa is incredibly interesting for its terrain, depending on where you go. It can be flat in some places, but there are some pretty impressive mountain ranges. But I suppose you could say the same thing about a lot of places. I'll tell you what, an interesting thing that happened to me over Christmas. It unfortunately ended up semi-tragic, but we were woken up on, sorry, it was New Year's Day, early morning New Year's Day. We were woken up by a search and rescue helicopter hovering over the village, shaking every building in the village like a bloody leaf. We had some serious flooding in the local river, and 2 people had tried to cross it and got swept into the river and were clinging onto a post for about an hour and 40 minutes. And the fire department was trying to get to them, but they couldn't quite see them, so they ended up calling the search and rescue helicopter, which came all the way from Prestwick of all places. It was probably one of the biggest helicopters I've ever seen. It was an absolute monster.
Yeah, those were massive.
And it had these 2 massive searchlights as well that were beaming down. And I mean, the noise was so bizarre and weird. My daughter woke up at the same time. She came through and said, "I think the Russians are invading." But it sounded really dramatic. And then when you went out, it was just like something out of Close Encounters with the Third Kind. You could see the running lights and these 2 massive spotlights just hovering in the middle of this over the town about 500 feet. It was really, really strange. So yeah, that made things a bit interesting for us anyway. Unfortunately, one of the people that was trapped was airlifted directly to hospital. I think she's still in critical condition. So all I can say is don't cross a raging river, folks, especially if it's flooded.
But no, it seems like no matter what, whenever there's a flood, there's always somebody that crosses the water and gets into trouble.
I agree.
I don't know why.
Stupid.
It's like a magnet for. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's and it. I mean, sometimes we often see, excuse me, silly things happen with tourists to the area because they just don't know any better. But in this case, it was people that were familiar in the area. They've been living here for a while, a few years anyway. So, yeah, all the more reason just why. I mean, they were trying to get home, and that was the only route they could think to go. But yeah, it's just a really, really unfortunate thing. And now, I mean, it's not knowing if one of them will survive it. So, but you're right, Tim. Yeah, there always seems to be someone doing something silly. So I can see the mountain range that we need to be concerned about, Kev. I'm just.
Yep, I can see it on the terrain as well.
It does seem high.
Jhog.
There you go.
Jhog got on the
Looks
flight.
like very high terrain.
What's that, Tim?
I said that looks like some very high terrain. That mountain just heading to the left slightly.
Yeah.
So where's this at on the map? Is there a fix or a waypoint near you for a reference? I'm just curious.
Address.
Ish.
Uniform
It's-
November Romeo Echo Sierra.
And what? Say that identifier again.
Address Uniform November Romeo Echo Sierra.
Got it.
Oh, that was the one
We
we
just passed it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm putting it up on the FMC. Hopefully you can see it.
It looks like the tops of those mountains are about 4,000 feet.
Yeah, the terrain minimums, looking at the chart, out like that's only 25 miles now. Where's it gone now? Let's see. Yeah, terrain minimums are 73,000 foot. It's like minimum safe altitude. So.
Jhog says, managed to get in the cockpit of 737. There was 10 minutes chatting with the captain. Oh, cool. Said, and have come to look at the real plane. Yeah, absolutely. That's always fun getting in there talking to the pilots. First officer was asking if you were on VETSIM. All right. Very
Very
cool.
good.
The first officer I spoke to was trying to persuade me to go to X-Plane-11.
Really?
Yeah.
Based.
Did they try to do that recently? Did they
That
tell
was
you to go
last-
to X-11 recently?
That was last. When did I go to Manchester? June.
Yeah, in June, yeah.
Yeah, it was June.
Okay.
So that would have been 4 or 12, wouldn't it?
Who did you fly up with, Nick?
BA.
BA?
Then,
Yeah. Was that,
BA are the only ones to fly.
was that the Embraer 170?
No, it was the. I went up on an A319 and came back on the A320.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, they do fly A319s before.
But the BA are the only airline that flies from London to Manchester. Weird.
Yeah. I think Flybe used to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the same for a lot of places. BA is the only airline that flies from London City to Edinburgh.
I mean, I didn't mind it, but it's
So
expensive.
you can go to London, but you like EasyJet goes to Gatwick, obviously, and then
I even tried EasyJet from Gatwick to Manchester, and it doesn't work.
I hate Gatwick.
I left Gatwick. I did Gatwick, Manchester, Heathrow.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, eventually I went back Jhog after that massive delay. Wow, that was fun.
Is that
I was
when
still in Manchester when I got back to Cork, weren't you, Nick?
is that when Digital came over?
Yeah. Yeah, Kevin, I think you landed in Ireland, didn't you? And I still haven't left.
Christ almighty.
I'm still stuck in the airport.
Oh God. Well, that was
My flight was lit.
that was my last flight from Birmingham, delayed 3.5 hours. We were supposed to leave at 9 o'clock at night, and we left at midnight. That was brutal. So I don't think I told the story, but so we're all kind of crashed out at the airport in the departure lounge, and everyone's just finding like a nice flat place to lie down, or semi-vertical, because we're all really tired. We're just waiting on this airplane coming in, and it's always the way. I had this woman sit down beside me, FaceTiming, like not even talking on the phone, FaceTiming somebody, like a family member, quite loudly talking about like her bad day and why the shoes that she just bought are awful and she needs to take them back. and it was dead quiet until she showed up. And everyone was like really almost like a semi-catatonic state, just trying to just conserve as much energy as possible. Because a lot of us, when we get to the airport, had to drive home as well. I had another hour to drive. So I was getting really fed up with this. And I just think it's so ignorant. Like, if you're going to talk on the phone or even FaceTime someone, go find like a quiet part of the airport where you're not bothering people, right? Rather than sitting in the middle of a bunch of people not saying a word to each other, just trying to relax. So my solution to this was, I got out my phone and I went onto YouTube, and there's that great video of the screaming goat. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
I'm not familiar with
Which one is
it's
it?
going, but
Yeah. So I started watching this this video on repeat with my phone, which actually goes relatively loud, which scared the crap out of everyone around me. But every time it happened, she would jerk her head and look over my way, and I would just pretend I'm looking at the phone, just enjoying the this very entertaining screaming goat. And after about the fourth scream, she finally decided to stand up and go somewhere else. And then I put the phone away, and we all went back to sleep.
Sadly, it took her that long to figure it out.
yeah.
I know.
Usually doesn't really take long to figure that they're the problem out.
It worked like a charm, though. And I think as soon as everybody realized what I was doing, they were a bit forgiving about the fact that I'd done it in the first place. Because it was quite jarring.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, there's just that, like on our trains here, we have quiet couches. So there was
Quiet
one time
couches.
going home, I was second. Yeah, there was one time going home from Dublin, I booked that carriage specifically because I wanted peace and quiet.
Oh, on the train, I love those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, there was someone got a phone call, and of course they take the call at their seat. They don't go to the mess with it all.
Nah, can't. You're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
I actually saw someone, because we don't really have them in Scotland.
Yeah.
But you get them, I think, quite a bit in England. I think you get them on some of the trains that go from Edinburgh to London have them.
Yeah.
And I was coming back. It was a late train, late departure. I think we left London, which I can't remember what station it is now. King's Cross. Left King's Cross about 7:30 at night. So this was, I guess, is just as we were kind of going past Manchester. So it was kind of, you're talking about 10 o'clock easily. And someone did that, and there was a guy, a rather tough-looking fellow, who was in the aisle, across the aisle, in the seats across the aisle from this guy who started taking the phone call, and eventually just got up, picked up the guy's phone, hung it up, put it face down on the table, and just stared at him. And the guy who was using the phone, picked up his phone, packed up his bags, and walked out of the carriage. I thought, that's cool.
That's the best way to do that, yes.
But if you'd seen this guy, there was no argument. There was no way you were going to argue. He had to be at least 6'2", 6'3", 6'4".
Nice.
And he was kind of as wide as he was tall, if you know what I mean. So.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't argue with someone like that.
Okay, we are
Watch
coming
that
into
mountain, by the way.
Yeah, well, I'm only heading for 10,000 at the moment.
I suppose from my perspective, anyways, you're a bit lower, but
Get the seatbelts on. Right, now, I should be starting a diesel I have, yeah. Take it down to 3,000. Should fly the constraints, hopefully. Yeah. Good. Airplane is doing more or less what I'm wanting it to at the moment. Definitely a bit less cloud here, though. Very green. Alright, do coin check. Oh, QNH 123. QNH has changed by a notch.
It has, and the wind has swung around a little bit. It's 140 at 13 now.
140 at 13, correct. Adjustment.
Does anyone in the chat play, or have they played X-Plane 12?
Yes, sure can.
Yeah.
What are your, after playing Flight Simulator, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I was already X-Plane enthusiast before 12. I pass a lot of time on 11, which I find to be much more realistic than MSFS. And I find that 12 addresses mostly issues of 11. It's really good improvement over the previous iteration of X-Plane. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Improved FDMs. The weather has gotten so much better. It looks nice now because you finally have a good lightning engine. Because that was something that was really driving X-Plane 11 back. It's that the lighting was pretty outdated, and now it's really looking good. It's in par with MSFS on that point. I actually like better how the light looks in X-Plane over MSFS. It's a bit too oversaturated on MSFS in my opinion. It makes things look plasticky, and it's more of a realistic look on X-Plane on that point. You also get the rain and ice effects out of the box. That's pretty nice. Improvements for helicopters as well, systems. And
Yeah, I have it. I've played it a little bit, but just I don't know. My opinion, I like it, but I still prefer Flight Simulator after using both. There are the graphics in Flight Sim are better. Flight characteristics, I didn't notice a huge difference. There's some other issues I noticed with it, but I think it's going to be hard for anybody to beat Microsoft Flight Simulator. If they get their constant improvements, it's going to get even better.
Hey Nick, don't you wish I had the battle music from Star Trek? You know when Vulcan, when Spock and Kirk have to fight? I
was like, what's she going on about?
One thing I noticed, just in the King Air 90, the panel, when you're looking at like the HSI and the engine gauges, there's a constant reflection on that panel. Have you noticed that? Or is there a way to get rid of it? Because even if you do a 360-degree turn, the reflection never moves. It's always in the way.
Well, I'm not sure. I haven't tried the King Air on X-Plane 12. All I can tell you about this one is that it's a port from 11 and not one of the new aircrafts. I'd say if you really wanna get a good idea of what X-Plane can do, it would be interesting to try a few third-party aircrafts, because there are some really interesting things going on there, because it's much more extensible than MSFS, because it's really very plugin friendly, and it's much easier for developers to make custom stuff. So you got a stronger base, and devs can really build further on top of that. That's where interesting things happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's a difference. I have not tried any add-on aircraft for X-Plane 12. It's just the default stuff. So that might be something that's worth trying, because it's probably the same as Flight Sim. None of the default airplanes on Flight Sim are great.
Exactly.
Is there anything out for X-Plane 12 right now? Because everything's kind of X-Plane 11. I mean, I know there's a I don't know if you'd have any interest in this, Tim, but the 737 Zebo mod for X-Plane-11 is supposed to be spectacular.
Yep. That's something that's free.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
A good 737 you can access for free. That's supposed to work well. I haven't tried it on 12, so I don't know how it goes on there, but I don't know if it's ported yet. Actually, I think so, but I'm not sure. But personally, I fly stuff like Funda Design, Aero Basque, Tolis, and there's some really nice stuff there that already work on 12.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, it's a glitch. They'll fix it, but if you take off in a small airplane, something that doesn't have anti-skid where no brakes will be applied, if you take off, don't touch the brakes, the wheels will spin indefinitely until you hit the brakes when the airplane's in the air after you take off.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Well, it's nice that they keep spinning, but yeah, they should stop at some point.
Yeah, they should stop. If there's wheel pants on the airplane where the bottom of the tires out in the airstream, then it would spin. But if there's no wheel pants, I don't think it would spin. I've flown a lot of 172s, 152s, small GA stuff, and they don't spin. But in X-Plane, they just spin and spin and spin until you hit the brakes.
Well, keep in mind that's default stuff, so you know they're just gonna. It's not gonna go any further than what PlaneMaker can do. So I'm sure if you custom code this, you can make the wheel slow down eventually, or just say stop on its
sorry,
own
just
with
to
the
interrupt for a
weekend.
second. Look at this approach.
Very low, aren't you?
You're going to mount for a second.
Just at the pole, just doing what it said.
Breathe in, lads, breathe in.
Of course, I'm probably at the minimum safe altitude, possibly.
What is your altitude? Because the minimum safe altitude is like 7,500.
7,000?
Should you not be looking what's in front of you?
I'm not going to hit anything. I'm happy. I did, however, decide not to let it fly the next constraint, so...
Yeah, I'd say if it carried on, you would have been in the mountain.
You know, but I'm not in the mountain.
Just about.
No.
I'm the point you are now, and I'm at 9,500.
I'm at 12,000.
Yeah, but is that because you like looking down on me, or is that because?
No, I can see
it's
with these flashing lights.
Oh yeah, I thought you were above me. Okay, never mind.
Hey, you know, I'm just doing it for cinematic effect. I gotta make the stream interesting, right?
Oh, twice
But-
don't
You're showing off the mesh, aren't you, to some extent?
Yeah.
It is very nice in fairness.
Yeah, what Nick said, that thing.
Yeah, that.
Hey, the Flying Scotsman, hey.
But to get back about X-Plane, the thing to understand about it is that it's not like a response to MSFS or whatever. It's not trying to do the same thing, and it's not really the same idea. Because on MSFS, of course, you're gonna have like those great graphics, and it's pretty much why people use this. But something that you're not gonna be getting is, for instance, your plane's not gonna fail. You're not gonna have your engine braking on you. While X-Plane, it's actually more about bringing your plane to its destination in a constantly changing environment, in which you could totally just have something failing for no reason, or maybe because you went over limitations or something.
The fly-by-wire has failures. The Phoenix, you can have failures. The PMPG,
Yes.
you can have failures.
I know,
And
this is
I
gonna
know.
happen.
But
Wait,
the
wait.
point
There's
is-
an add-on that allows failures.
Wait, but first we gotta say hello to the Flying Scotsman. He says, "Good evening, Willie," and Pastor Ray, what you're doing to have a good
evening.
Hello.
long time no see. Yes, hello, Scotsman. You're just in time for the great, yet another great X-Plane versus Microsoft Flight Simulator debate. Okay, ready, go.
But my point is, Nick, please, just a
Yeah,
second.
go on. Good.
My point
Red
is,
rag to
that's
a
something
bush.
that works out of the box on X-Plane. Well, on MSFS, it's something that needs to be implemented by the third-party developers.
Well, yes and no with that debate, because I have an add-on that allows random failures. Now, granted, it doesn't work on all aircraft, but it works on 99% of them, and also I haven't tested it enough for that to, like, for a full, you know, like to know fully if it doesn't work on all aircraft at all.
But for instance, I'm not gonna have like, for instance, Blackbird coming and using this as a base on which to extend their own failure system, and that's a big difference.
True. But if they have a failure system implemented already, there's no need to use it. That's for the default aircraft. So, like, remember I had a hydraulics failure in the DC-3 a while back, and I mentioned it to you. I had to do a belly landing. That was that add-on.
Well, the Flying Scotsman says, just if you want an alternative view, it sounds like you're in a heated moment there. Well, boys, Orthos work in X-Plane 12, so what's Orthos? I'm not sure. So
Yeah, the
Microsoft Flight Simulator in trouble now. That's my 2 bits worth.
That's
Well,
true. Well, the thing
looking
is,
outside the
basically,
window.
what MSFS fans are gonna tell you is that, yeah, but Ortho's not there along the
There
box.
we go. So, Ortho works in X-Plane 12, yeah, that's
Yes.
fine. And I've seen streams where people were playing X-Plane 11 and they got Ortho and stuff like that.
Yes.
But Microsoft Simulator has the photogrammetry, yeah,
Yeah.
and is able to input the weather onto the ground, if you know what I mean. Which I don't think
Yeah,
is
which
how you
12
can
does by default.
But so
Fair
does
enough.
MSFS, but
Yeah.
well,
And it even had seasons, you know, the thing that we use IQ season to get.
yeah.
Well, that's by default on X-Plane.
Is it any good?
Yeah?
Yeah. So's IQ seasons. It's
Yeah, but it's by
Alright.
default. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, but
Yeah,
surely
but you know
I-
what? You know what trumps everything though for me? My airplane's got a Tim Hortons cup.
It sure does.
Oh,
So, sorry,
Yeah.
X-Plane loses. So,
I like my first seat.
okay. You got working toilets?
Concord
Yep.
does.
I got
Yeah,
Tim Hortons
Concord
cup.
does.
Look.
The 310 has a model where you can't get in.
Because the Venom has them.
And if
Because
you've got
working toilets, the Venom.
if you've got FS realistic, you can actually hear them flush.
Especially let's you can hear the sneeze.
Well, FS
Yeah,
well is takes the port of an X-Plane mod.
Okay, I am. If it's okay, guys, I think I might decide to land the plane.
Really?
You go ahead and land,
Having
we'll
so much
continue.
fun.
I know.
Well, we got the bobblehead of Austin Myers in
Flying
the
Scotsman. Oh, there you go.
172 glove box. Is that a thing?
Yes, it is. I saw that. If you open the glove box on the 172, he's there and you click it, it'll go up on the dash, you can push the button and it'll talk.
Oh my god.
Jeez.
So many
Oh,
players
that's
have been
awesome.
Gimmicks. Cheap gimmicks.
Well,
how
we
they
got the
win
same on
forward.
MSFS, so
Wait, have we?
with the well, you got the old flight simulators in the DA62, and you can have bubbles then in the Cessna SP10. So you know, both have Easter egg.
Fair enough.
Well, he says it's hard to have. It's hard to have both sims and learn both ways. They work. It's a bit much for me to keep knowing both sims in and out. Yeah, I'm kind of the same, but for that reason, I stick with Microsoft Flight Simulator. Not because it's better or worse than X-Plane, but that's just happens to be the one. To be fair, I've always been with Microsoft Flight Simulator, so but for me, I mean, I really like the visuals as well. So that is a pushing point for me. but it doesn't mean I wouldn't like to try X-Plane. I would.
2,500.
I'd be very interested.
I think each one's a little different. There's pluses and minuses to both.
Exactly.
It just comes down to what does the person want. I mean, I looked at X-Plane 12. and
2,500.
There were some nice features to it, but then there's also some really glaring items that just stood out to me.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I mean, that's the point. You fly what you like, and
Yeah.
you don't have to like the same thing as me, and that's okay.
And the flight sim MSFS is only what?
What, like Final Fantasy 14?
2 years old?
Final Fantasy 14?
Yeah.
Why
I don't
when
like
you
it.
mentioned it, you want the ad again?
No.
No.
Oh, thank you.
This sim is
I
only 2
mean,
years
I
old.
can pull it out. Wait, I did my script. Oh, there's a ground.
Don't hit that anyways, that's not something you're meant to hit.
I'm going into approach mode shortly. Well, I have gone into
Turning
approach
final.
mode, so, yeah. Now, Kev,
Hey
you
guys,
haven't done
did you
this
know the
amazing thing
critically
yet.
acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV has a free trial and includes the entirety of A Real Reborn and the award-winning Heaven's Word expansion up to level 60 with no restriction on playtime. Sign up now and enjoy Eorzea today.
Funny.
And if
So,
you guys wanna
Meanwhile, we're
try
over
it out, I'm on Phantom.
Meanwhile, we're over Capetown. Oh, Kev, are you just about down?
Well, I'm the ILS now anyways.
You look like you're up in the air.
I'm in the air. I'm on the ILS.
Oh, you're on the ILS. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I follow you, I'll find the runway.
Yes,
Cause I kinda got lost.
I can see it.
Well, you must be closer than it looks that you are.
Yeah, I turned final a bit earlier than the rest of the day.
Yeah. Okay. I'm still 9 miles out. So.
So my final word on this is
Yep.
that Microsoft has said that they're gonna obviously this is a 10-year project,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we're in what, year 2.
Yeah.
So if this is what it's like in year 2, what's it going to be like in 8 years time? It's
Must be fantastic.
You
Yeah.
could probably use the same argument with X-Plane 12. I'm sure
2,500.
that's going to undergo continual improvement.
It's got an X-Plane. No, what I'm saying is you've had the X-Plane 11. I presume there was an X-Plane 10. You've now got X-Plane 12. So they're bringing. And are they not charged? It's not a free upgrade, is it?
They actually do. I was about to mention it. You got regular updates of the sim, and you can have some actually big improvements. Because, for instance, if you take 11.0 and you compare it to what 11.50 was, there is a huge difference, especially in terms of performance, because they actually started to implement Vulkan and Metal as a rendering engine instead of OpenGL. And they introduced that in 11.50, and now that's what X-Plane 12 uses.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
by
is,
default.
do you have to pay to upgrade from X-Plane 11 to X-Plane 12?
You're down?
Yes, but that's
we go.
like there's how much years? 7 years or something between the two. So
Okay.
same argument that for MSFS. then.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, because we got 8 years. 8 years. They're saying a
Yeah,
minimum of
all of
8
that with
up to 10
support
years, so-
updates.
Traffic.
So it's on that point it's the same. I'd say, unless you want to tell me MSFS is better because you get more free aircrafts. Okay, if you want, but you know, very default stuff.
Could you do this flight on X-Plane 12? E.g., a load of us joining in and flying together and seeing each other. Can
Yeah,
you do
that's
that?
one thing I'd say MSFS really. I really like on MSFS the multiplayer.
So if MSF didn't, if we only had X-Plane 11 or 12, we wouldn't be here today doing this stream and this community.
Absolutely, and I've always said that the multiplayer of MSFS is so great because of that.
Yeah, I'm just
Traffic.
Anyway.
Hang on, guys. Kevin,
Yes.
you roll to the end of the runway.
That's my plan anyways. The rest
I
are
am
big
getting
long.
very close to you.
Traffic.
Oh, who is that? Is that Kevin?
1,000.
That's
I'm
Kevin, yeah.
sick. Yeah.
I think you're right. Just roll right to the end of the runway.
Yeah. Alright, auto brake off.
Traffic.
Auto
Traffic.
brake off.
Slow down.
I'm going to be auto brake medium.
Okay. Actually, I might leave it on 1 just so I actually do stop because it's a short enough runway.
I see Flying Scotsman still stoking the conversation.
Traffic. Traffic.
Checked.
What did you say? X-Plane is only 60 quid, and for that you get an amazing sim. Agreed!
That's checked.
Well, the first ever
Nice.
airliner formation landing. There we go, folks.
Are those two going to come to blows?
What's your
Well, let's hope not.
what's your VREF?
My VRF is 128, sorry.
Well, 128. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm 136.
Small
It's
Three.
plane.
okay. We're okay. We're okay. Just roll.
100 above.
Just roll.
Yeah.
Let it float. Let it roll.
But I'm gonna land safely.
200.
Unchecked.
Minimum.
It's a very quite actually good to see you come in though.
100.
So where are we
50.
parking?
40. 30. 20. Retard.
Down.
5.
Well, am I the first down?
You are?
Oh, okay. So I was behind you.
Oh, we're good. We're good.
Alright, good. I'll take the next tack to it though.
All right, here's another X-Plane question.
Where's the terminal?
It's a nice question. I noticed in X-Plane rudder sensitivity is really high, just as it is in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
It's not. Sorry.
It's not. Yours isn't. So mine is, and that's what I'm wondering. Is it my pedals, or is it just the settings? Because I adjusted them, and it feels like the rudder pedals are overly sensitive in both senses. Either overly sensitive or not sensitive enough until you get to the close to full travel.
Well, personally, I got some reduced sensitivities on X-Plane, so it's a bit nicer. You should not go too far on that sliders, because if you increase that too much, then basically you're gonna have low authority up to a certain point, and then you're gonna get way too much all of a sudden, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it does. That's what happened to me when I first started adjusting that slider.
Yeah, well, that's the same on both teams on that point, but in my experience, the rudder is much less sensitive on X-Plane than on MSFS.
Okay.
And overall, the controls are less sensitive on X-Plane.
Flying Scotsman says very nice. I presume he's talking about my runway.
And that,
My landing,
that's like-
not about your comparable opinions on flight simulators.
yeah,
But it's funny.
Uh,
Some people get really serious about their flight simulators.
Yeah, no, I know.
Flight
You know
simulators.
what?
Yeah.
I am teasing. The passion's great, and it's. I think at the end of the day, can we at least agree that we are in a golden age for flight simulation, because there's so many choices out there right now.
yeah,
But
for
there's
sure.
there's never going to be a winner to the argument which one's better, because everybody has different taste in flight simulation. But
Of
realism,
course, I know
one.
why I fly in X-Plane, and I know that's not what most people are looking for, and that's fine. That's because I want a more involved experience than what MSFS offers, and I'm getting that from X-Plane. And I also find that planes feel nice in X-Plane. It's
Yeah.
just also smoother.
It doesn't matter
But here's
what
the
sim it
best
is, it's
part
what
of
it's
having-
what it's put together.
and a good part of having two
Next
simulators is competition, though, too. Competition brings a better product for both products.
Exactly.
Sure. Like,
Well,
I feel like
except-
the X-Plane came out, or
For the fact that
Where would
Laminar
Honeycomb
Research
be?
does not give a damn
Yeah.
about what Astobo's doing.
Yeah, but where
So
would
they're not in
Honeycomb
a
where would
competition
Honeycomb be
spirit,
without
they do what they
Thrustmaster?
want and that's it.
right? Where would Honeycomb be without Thrustmaster, and vice versa?
Well, I'd say without Cytec, because I'm not sure that allegedly the people behind Honeycomb, they were from Cytec before. They just hated how there was nothing between that and the high-end stuff. And so that's why they
So did they
made
leave?
Honeycomb.
Did they leave Cytec after Logitech bought them over then?
Well, later, I guess, and that because
Beautiful landing for
Honeycomb
Jhog
started in
coming here.
2020.
Good.
He's looking good.
Very nice.
Nothing wrong with that.
But
I think Honeycomb did fill a void or a niche with their product. I do like them. I think their biggest downfall right now is customer service, and I ran into that with my review trying to talk to them. It was just, you couldn't. There's nobody to answer. But I've seen online on Facebook groups and stuff where they've replied to people. But as far as getting help with Honeycomb products quick, I think that's something they really have to work on. If they do and get that part mastered, then it's a flawless, perfect product.
yeah, I agree. There's that. There's also straight up support. Like for instance, X-Plane-12s have been there for a while, and they still haven't made the X-Plane-12 version of the driver. So basically, I need to do a little trick to use the X-Plane-11 version. That kind of sucks. They say they will do a Linux version of it. They never did it. And I actually find that in 2020 they were filling a gap. They're not anymore. Because if you look at their more recent products, they're so much more expensive than the first ones they released in 2020. I think that defeats the purpose of Honeycomb.
You know, one thing as well about Microsoft Flight Simulator is the development updates. That, you know, they spend a good 2 hours maybe on Twitch once a month, just talking to people and explaining to us what they're doing, what's coming up, etc. Which I don't think the other platforms do. Maybe it's just me, but
Yeah,
they do tell.
that thing cringes me out, to be honest, because that's just corporate. That's just a corporate thing. I'm sorry. From what I hear, you just mention any issues of the sim, you get banned from it. It's crazy.
Really?
I
Yeah,
haven't been banned from it. I've mentioned stuff and they've taken it on board.
I don't know. Like people said, "Hey, when are you gonna fix the multiplayer?" and they got banned.
I think some of the tone, it's hard to tell the tone through the computer on text, but some people, you can tell it's derogatory versus
There's a lot of
something
that.
that
There's a lot of that on the internet.
what's the internet? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, Jhog, take that gate.
I'm the first
Take
one
that
to
gate,
strike
Jhog.
ban hammer at people, but I don't want to watch those stuff, to be honest. I know it's just Asobo doing advertising. I don't want that.
Jhog's going to box sneak in and pull this way. Anyway, cool. Well, we got there in the end, and Jhog made it back. Beautiful landing too. We got Jhog captured on stream, and Kevin, I got to see you from the cockpit landing, which was really neat.
So an interesting size.
Not any semblance to real life whatsoever, but it was really cool.
Yeah. I think it was a good landing. It's got 105 per minute at 1.2 G. Or 1.12 G.
That's it, yeah. And it actually worked out once we kind of agreed on how we were going to avoid hitting each other. So Jhog's got his gate now. That's perfect. Anyway, huge thanks for Flying Scotsman who's joined in at the end there as well for stirring yet another fantastic debate on positive freight. It's been quite entertaining. I haven't had to do much talking because it's just been back and forth the whole time. And Tim, of course, a huge thanks to you for initially joining us in chat and then coming in to say hello and give us your thoughts on life, the universe, flight simulation, and everything around it.
Bringing up a question about X-Plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time I'll think of a more subtle, controversial question.
Just so for the next time, I'm just trying to think what something to avoid upsetting Shark Kitty. Why tricycle gear is so much better than tail draggers, and tail draggers just shouldn't
Oh,
exist.
Jesus.
Hold my beer.
Draggers anymore.
Anyway, I mean, my personal opinion is I think every airplane in both sims should have a Tim Hortons cup.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I would say have Barry's cup, but...
And they should have working toilets.
Very important.
I swear that's a real thing though. If there was something about that on Steamworks Studios Discord when they announced the PC-12. You had all the chat saying, "Is there gonna be toilets? Is there gonna be toilets? Is there gonna be toilets?"
Toilets. Didn't it happen?
So, at some point they came
Nick.
back and they say, "We officially announced
No, you're
that
right.
there are gonna
No,
be working toilets
Nick.
to the PC-12."
Nick, was
Yeah.
it not Gavin that was debuting the Fenix 320, and there was like several people kept asking,
Oh,
"Can I see the
God.
toilet?"
Yeah. Is the toilet flushable? Can you use the toilet?
Very important.
Oh,
So
my
here's
God.
one. If the toilet doesn't flush, is it not a study level airplane?
I would say not.
Jesus.
So that's
Toilets
why
is
the
the
Aerobas
best
Phenom 300 is study level, because you can flush the toilet.
I don't know what platform it was. It was either P3D or X-Plane, but they brought out Dash 8, I think it was, and it had a flushing toilet. And this is where the joke came from,
Nice.
because the toilet actually flushes, and everyone was like, "Ah, wow, that's fantastic." So ever since, and in the Concorde, in the DC Designs Concorde,
It
on
does
the
it too.
back of the toilet, no, it doesn't. But on
Oh,
the
it
back
doesn't?
of the door, you can open the door, and you can go into the toilet, and on the back of the door there's a post-it note, and it says
Yeah.
something along the lines of, "With all the hours and hours and hours of blood, sweat and tears to make this aircraft, you've decided to come in here to check whether the toilet flushes." And it's a post-it note on the back of the door.
Oh man, I don't know.
I've seen that note.
Right.
Absolutely brilliant.
Well,
Yeah.
it's been fun, and everyone feel free to continue the debate in our Discord server. Kevin, maybe you could punch up the Discord for us on chat.
Sure, give me 2 seconds there.
No worries. Thank you very much. Huge thanks to, I think we'll go through the order. Shark Kitty, entertaining as usual. You're as animated in the air and formation as you were in conversation today, so thanks for coming along.
Always a pleasure.
And a big thank you to Nick. Nick, you haven't been able to join us quite as often as you'd like, but I'm so delighted that you were able to come tonight, mate. It's always great to have you along.
Yeah, it's been great fun today. MSFS forever.
That's it. There you go. Big thank you to Kevin. Always great to have you along, mate, and thanks for the great flight plan once again.
No worries, thank you. Yeah.
And the formation landing, which was a new one.
Completely unintentional.
And Tim, thanks for joining us today, mate. All the best to you, and it's so great to get a perspective from a real pilot when we have an opportunity. So thanks for coming on.
You're welcome, and I do have a controversial question for next time already, but I'll save it.
Oh Lord.
Much look forward to.
And on that note, we wish to say goodbye to everybody who's been watching live on the chat. Please do check us out on Discord and go visit our sponsors, Orbix and Just Flight. And we'll see you next time, folks. All the best to you. Keep the blue side up. Thank you for joining Positive Rate. All the best.